Mercedes-Benz GLS costs $98,000 in the United States. The BMW X7 starts at $84,000. A Tesla Model X will set you back $80,000 minimum. Now imagine walking into an SUV with a 43-inch rear screen, refrigerator, massage seats with 12 support zones, air suspension that can lift 150 millimeters, and genuine Nappa leather everywhere you touch. Then imagine that SUV costs $65,000 and comes with technology the Germans won't have for another 3 years. This isn't imagination anymore. Chinese automakers just dropped 5 SUVs that don't just compete with Western luxury, they obliterate it on features, match it on quality, and humiliate it on price. Today you're seeing the 5 Chinese SUVs that are making European and American executives panic in boardrooms, ranked from impressive to absolutely devastating. And let's start with the one that's rewriting what tech forward means. Xpeng G9. Picture a premium electric SUV that charges faster than a Tesla Model X, drives farther on a single charge than most German EVs, and costs 40% less while packing technology that makes a BMW iX look like it's from 2019. The Xpeng G9 isn't trying to be a Tesla killer. It already killed it and moved on to the next target. The G9 measures 4,891 millimeters long, 1,937 millimeters wide, and 1,680 millimeters tall, with a 2,998 millimeter wheelbase. That's nearly identical footprint to a BMW X5 or Mercedes GLE, but the packaging is pure EV efficiency with a flat floor and massive interior space that makes those combustion platform SUVs feel cramped. The exterior design is clean and modern with a low drag coefficient around 0.272, contributing to the exceptional range numbers we'll get to shortly. Inside is where Xpeng starts embarrassing the competition. The dashboard features a massive 14.96-inch central touchscreen that rotates between landscape and portrait orientations depending on what you're doing. Unlike the fixed screens in most Western EVs, this actually makes functional sense. Portrait mode for navigation with long-range map view, landscape for media and vehicle settings. Behind the steering wheel sits a 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster, but the real headline is the augmented reality head-up display that projects a massive image across your entire windshield, showing navigation arrows that appear to float on the actual road surface ahead. Tesla doesn't have this. BMW's head-up display looks primitive by comparison. The ARHUD in the G9 uses Qualcomm's latest chip and DLP technology to create an image equivalent to a 96-inch screen floating 10 meters ahead of the car. The front seats offer heating, ventilation, and massage functions as standard on higher trims. The second row gets heated seats, electric recline, and on the 6-seat configuration, individual captain's chairs with a center console and pass-through to the rear cargo area. Materials are genuine Nappa leather on premium trims with real aluminum and open-pore wood trim. Build quality matches anything from Germany based on early owner reports and press reviews. The panoramic glass roof stretches over both rows with electrochromic dimming that adjusts automatically based on sunlight intensity. The tech story gets better. Xpeng's X-Pilot 4.0 autonomous driving system uses dual LiDAR sensors, 28 cameras, 5mm wave radars, and 12 ultrasonic sensors feeding data to dual NVIDIA Orin X chips producing 508 tera operations per second of computing power. That sensor suite and processing capability exceeds what Tesla offers in Hardware 3 vehicles and matches the latest Mercedes Drive Pilot systems that cost twice as much. The City NGP function enables full autonomous navigation through urban environments in supported Chinese cities, handling traffic lights, roundabouts, and complex intersections without driver intervention. Tesla's FSD can do this in the US, but no European manufacturer has achieved this level of capability yet. Now, talking about the powertrain numbers that make Tesla sweat. The G9 comes in rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive configurations. The RWD version uses a single 230 kilowatt rear motor producing 313 horsepower. The AWD Performance model adds a front motor for combined output of 405 kilowatts and 551 horsepower, hitting 100 km per hour in 3.9 seconds. That's quicker than a Model X long range and nearly matches the Model X Plaid while costing half as much. But charging is where Xpeng humiliates the entire industry. The G9 uses an 800-volt architecture with 480 kilowatt peak DC fast charging capability on Xpeng's S4 superchargers. In real-world testing, the G9 charged from 10 to 80% in 15 minutes, adding roughly 400 kilometers of range in the time it takes to use a restroom and grab coffee. Tesla Supercharger 5.3 maxes out at 250 kilowatts. Even the latest V4 stalls are limited by current Tesla vehicles to around 250 kilowatts. Porsche Taycan can hit 270 kilowatts. The G9 nearly doubles that. Mercedes EQS can theoretically charge at similar speeds, but good luck finding a charger that delivers it. And that vehicle costs $150,000 compared to the G9's $60,000 starting price in China. The air suspension offers adjustable ride height with 5 modes, including a high mode that lifts the vehicle 90mm for rough terrain and a low mode that drops it for highway efficiency and easier entry. The damping adjusts continuously based on road conditions, vehicle speed, and driving mode selection. Ride quality and comfort mode reportedly rivals the Mercedes GLE's air suspension, while sport mode tightens everything up for genuinely engaging handling. Pricing in China starts around 309,800 yuan for the base RWD model, roughly $43,000 US. The top-spec AWD performance with all options pushes to around 469,800 yuan or $65,000. Even the fully loaded version costs less than a base Model X or BMW iX while offering comparable or superior range, faster charging, more advanced autonomous driving, and interior technology that's genuinely 2 to 3 years ahead of what Western brands offer. The Xpeng G9 proves Chinese EVs aren't just cheap alternatives anymore. They're the new benchmark for what technology in a premium electric SUV should look like. Tesla better hope American buyers don't get access to these because the comparison would be devastating. Tech wars are fun, but what if your SUV looked like it belonged in a presidential motorcade? Hongqi EHS9. Hongqi translates to red flag, and this is China's state limousine brand, the vehicles that carry Chinese officials and visiting dignitaries. The EHS9 is Hongqi's electric flagship SUV, and it's designed to compete directly with Bentley Bentayga, Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and Range Rover at a fraction of the cost while delivering presence that stops traffic. The EHS9 is massive. Length stretches 5,209mm, width hits 2,010mm, height reaches 1,731mm, and the wheelbase spans 3,110mm. That's longer than a BMW X7, wider than a Mercedes GLS, and the wheelbase matches a long wheelbase Range Rover. This is a vehicle designed to make a statement before you even open the door. The exterior design screams authority. The front fascia features Hongqi's signature vertical chrome waterfall grille that's unmistakably Chinese and unapologetically bold. It's not trying to look European or American. It's establishing its own identity with design language that references Chinese imperial aesthetics. Full-width LED light bars front and rear, 21 or 22-inch wheels depending on trim, and a profile that manages to look stately rather than bulbous despite the size. This is a vehicle for people who want attention, who want others to ask what that badge means, who want something that doesn't blend in with every other luxury SUV in the parking lot. Inside is where Hongqi justifies its positioning against six-figure European SUVs. The dashboard uses a curved dual-screen setup with a 12.3-inch instrument cluster flowing into a 16.2-inch central touchscreen. Below that sits actual chrome-trimmed physical buttons for climate control, a refreshing choice when everyone else is forcing you to dive through menus for basic functions. The steering wheel is thick, leather-wrapped, and features traditional spoke designs rather than the minimalist yoke some brands are pushing. This is a conservative, formal interior designed for executives and government officials who want luxury without flash. Front seats are thrones upholstered in Nappa leather with 20-way power adjustment, heating, ventilation, and massage functions that include multiple programs with adjustable intensity. The second row, particularly in the 6-seat configuration with captain's chairs, is where the EHS9 makes its luxury argument. Individual seats get heating, ventilation, massage, power recline to nearly flat positions, extending leg rests, and dedicated climate controls. The center console between the captain's chairs includes a refrigerator, wireless phone charging, USB-C ports, and controls for the rear entertainment system. Speaking of entertainment, the rear passengers get dual 12.3-inch screens mounted on the front seat backs running a full entertainment system with streaming capability, gaming functions, and mirroring for mobile devices. The audio comes from a 12-speaker or optional 16-speaker Hongqi-branded premium system that delivers genuine high-fidelity sound, not the hollow bass-heavy tuning some luxury brands pass off as premium audio. Ambient lighting with 64 colors integrates into the doors, dash, and footwells. The panoramic glass roof includes power shades for both rows. Acoustic laminated glass throughout keeps road and wind noise impressively low at highway speeds. The powertrain uses a dual-motor all-wheel drive setup with a 160-kilowatt front motor and 245-kilowatt rear motor for combined output of 405 kilowatts, roughly 551 horsepower, and 750 newton-meters of torque. Despite weighing over 2,700 kilograms, the EHS9 hits 100 kilometers per hour in 4.9 seconds, quick enough to embarrass most combustion luxury SUVs while delivering the silent, effortless acceleration only EVs provide. Battery capacity sits at 99 or 120 kilowatt hours depending on specification using CATL ternary lithium cells. The larger pack delivers NEDC range around 690 kilometers, which translates to roughly 550 to 600 kilometers in real-world mixed driving. That's not class-leading leading, but it's adequate for a vehicle this size and weight. Charging tops out at 110 kilowatts DC fast charging, meaning 30 to 80% takes about 40 minutes. Not Tesla fast, but acceptable. The air suspension adjusts ride height across a 100mm range and continuously adapts damping based on road conditions. Ride quality is the priority here, with the EHS9 tuned for isolation and serenity rather than sporting dynamics. This is a vehicle for being driven in, not for attacking canyon roads. The suspension soaks up road imperfections with the kind of magic carpet ride quality you expect from Range Rover or Mercedes-Maybach. Pricing in China starts around 509,800 yuan for the base 6-seat model, roughly $71,000. The top trim 4-seat flagship version with every option reaches 729,800 yuan, or about $110,000. That's expensive by Chinese standards, but consider what you get for that money. A Bentley Bentayga starts at $180,000. A Rolls-Royce Cullinan begins at $350,000. The EHS9 delivers 70% of the presence, 90% of the luxury, and arguably better technology for less than a third of the price. The Hongqi EHS9 proves Chinese luxury isn't an oxymoron anymore. It's a legitimate alternative for buyers who want flagship presence without the European price tag or the boring conformity of looking like everyone else at the country club. Presidential luxury impresses, but what if you want battery swapping and genuine innovation? Nio ES8. Nio bills itself as the Chinese Tesla, but that's selling Nio short. The ES8 is Nio's 6 or 7-seat flagship SUV, and it offers something Tesla abandoned years ago: battery swapping. The ability to drive into a station and have your depleted battery replaced with a fresh one in under 5 minutes. No charging wait, no range anxiety, just seamless energy replenishment that's actually faster than filling a gas tank. The ES8 measures 5,099mm long, 1,989mm wide, and 1,750mm tall with a 3,070mm wheelbase. It's sized similarly to a BMW X7 or Audi Q7, offering 3-row capability with genuine adult space in all 3 rows, not the compromised 3rd row most SUVs force you to accept. The design is distinctively Nio, with the signature X-bar front fascia, split LED headlights, and a sleek profile that manages to look modern without being overly aggressive. It's handsome rather than stunning, but presence on the road is strong with 20 or 21-inch wheel options and a substantial stance. The rear features a full-width light bar that's become Nio's signature element across the lineup. Inside, Nio takes a different approach than the screen overload strategy most Chinese EVs pursue. The ES8 uses a minimalist dashboard with a 9.8-inch narrow digital instrument cluster and an 11.3-inch central portrait touchscreen. That sounds small compared to competitors, but Nio's logic is that drivers shouldn't be staring at screens. Instead, they've integrated Nomi, a small spherical AI assistant that sits on top of the dashboard. Nomi uses cameras and microphones to recognize passengers, respond to voice commands, and display facial expressions on its spherical screen. It sounds gimmicky, but owners report it's genuinely useful and creates an emotional connection with the vehicle in a way cold touchscreens don't. Seating is available in 6 or 7 passenger configurations. The 6-seat version uses 2-2-2 layout with captain's chairs in the 2nd row. The seats are upholstered in synthetic leather Nio calls Nappa, actually microfiber that's sustainable and comfortable with heating, ventilation, and massage in the first 2 rows. The 2nd row captain's chairs recline substantially and include leg rests. Even the 3rd row is usable for adults on shorter trips, with reasonable legroom and headroom, plus cup holders and USB charging. Nio's party trick is the battery subscription model and swapping network. You can buy the ES8 without a battery, reducing the purchase price by roughly 70,000 yuan or $10,000, then pay monthly subscription fees to rent the battery. This makes the upfront cost dramatically lower and shifts battery degradation risk to Nio. You can choose between 70, 100, or 150 kilowatt-hour battery packs depending on your range needs and budget, and you can upgrade or downgrade month to month. Planning a road trip? Rent the 150 kilowatt-hour pack for that month. Daily commuting only? Drop to the 70 kilowatt-hour pack and save money. Pricing for the ES8 with the 75 kilowatt-hour battery starts around 468,000 yuan or $65,000. Without battery on the base subscription model, the starting price drops to around 398,000 yuan or $55,000. Then you pay monthly battery rent. A comparable BMW X7 or Mercedes GLS starts around $80,000 to $90,000 in China. The ES8 undercuts them significantly while offering unique battery swapping capability and competitive technology. The Nio ES8 shows that innovation isn't just about screens and horsepower. Battery swapping is genuinely transformative for electric vehicle usability, and Nio is the only company investing in the infrastructure to make it work at scale. Tesla tried battery swapping years ago and gave up. Nio made it their competitive advantage. Battery swapping solves range, but what if you want the best family SUV ever built? Li Auto L9. Ask anyone in China what the best luxury family SUV is, and you'll hear one name more than any other: Li Auto L9. This isn't just an SUV, it's a mobile living room, conference center, and entertainment system wrapped in 5.2 meters of aluminum and steel. Li Auto designed the L9 around a single question: what would the perfect vehicle for a Chinese family look like? Then they built it without compromise. The L9 stretches 5,218 millimeters long, 1,998 millimeters wide, and 1,800 millimeters tall, with a 3,105 millimeter wheelbase. It's absolutely massive, longer than a BMW X7, wider than a Mercedes GLS, and that wheelbase creates interior space that has to be experienced to be believed. The exterior design is clean and modern without trying to be aggressive or sporty. This is a family vehicle for successful people who don't need to prove anything. The front features a split light design with slim LED daytime running lights up high and the main headlamps lower down. The side profile is upright and boxy, maximizing interior volume rather than chasing a sporty silhouette. 20-inch wheels look appropriately substantial under the large body. The rear uses a full-width light bar and power liftgate with kick sensor. Inside is where the L9 earns its reputation as the ultimate family vehicle. The front dashboard uses a 3-screen layout with a 13.35-inch instrument cluster, 15.7-inch central touchscreen, and 15.7-inch passenger display. All 3 screens use OLED panels with exceptional contrast and color. But the real story is the rear. Second-row passengers, which Li Auto identifies as the priority in Chinese family dynamics where grandparents often ride in back, get 2 individual captain's chairs that Li Auto calls queen seats. These aren't just captain's chairs. They're thrones with 40-degree recline, extending leg rests, heating, ventilation, lumbar massage with multiple modes, and electric adjustment for nearly every conceivable position. The seats use genuine Nappa leather with perforated sections for ventilation. Between the seats runs a massive center console with storage, cup holders, wireless charging, and controls for the seat functions and climate. The powertrain is an extended-range electric system, meaning it's primarily electric with a gasoline generator to extend range when the battery depletes. Dual electric motors, one at each axle, produce combined output of 449 kilowatts or 610 horsepower and 785 newton meters. 0 to 100 km per hour takes 5.3 seconds, quick enough for confident merging and passing despite the 2,920 kilogram curb weight. The battery is a 44.5 kilowatt-hour CATL pack providing 215 kilometers pure electric range CLTC, enough for most daily driving. When the battery depletes, the 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder generator kicks in, producing electricity to power the motors while also charging the battery. With a full charge and full 65-liter fuel tank, total range reaches 1,315 kilometers CLTC. In real-world mixed driving, owners report 1,100 to 1,200 kilometers between fill-ups, genuinely eliminating range anxiety entirely. The air suspension, which Li Auto calls Magic Carpet, uses dual-chamber air springs with CDC continuous damping control. The system can adjust ride height, damping, and spring rates independently at each wheel within milliseconds. Ride quality is exceptional, soaking up road imperfections while keeping body motions controlled. This is a 3-ton SUV that rides like a flagship sedan, isolating passengers from the chaos outside while maintaining composure in corners. Li Auto's advanced driver assistance system uses 34 sensors including 1 LiDAR, 12 cameras, 5 radars, and 12 ultrasonics feeding dual NVIDIA Orin X chips. The system offers highway autonomous driving, automatic lane changes, navigation-based speed control, and advanced parking assist that can remember parking locations and replicate previous parking maneuvers. It's not quite full self-driving, but it's sophisticated enough to handle highway driving with minimal intervention. Pricing for the L9 starts at 429,800 yuan, roughly $60,000 US. There's essentially one configuration with minimal options since Li Auto includes almost everything as standard. Compare that to a BMW X7 starting around $85,000, a Mercedes GLS at $82,000, or even a well-equipped Honda Pilot at $50,000. The L9 offers dramatically more interior space, significantly more luxury features, better technology, and genuine 3-row capability for the same money or less. Sales numbers prove the L9's success. Li Auto delivered over 140,000 L9 units in 2024, making it one of the best-selling luxury SUVs in China, outselling the BMW X7, Mercedes GLS, and Audi Q7 combined. Families buying these vehicles aren't settling for Chinese brands. They're actively choosing the L9 over German alternatives because it's genuinely better at being a family vehicle. The Li Auto L9 shows what happens when a company focuses on solving real problems rather than chasing 0 to 100 times or maximum horsepower. It created the best vehicle for transporting a family in comfort, safety, and entertainment. And it did it for less money than the legacy brands charge for inferior products. Family luxury is impressive, but number 1 is the SUV that makes G-Class owners jealous. YangWang U8. This is the SUV that can drive through a meter of water, float if it falls into a river, spin 360 degrees without moving forward, and still pamper you with a 22-speaker Dynaudio sound system and seats that massage your entire back. The BYD YangWang U8 isn't just competing with Mercedes G-Class and Land Rover Defender, it's obliterating them on capability while matching them on luxury and charging half the price. The U8 measures 5,319 mm long, 2,050 mm wide, and 1,930 mm tall with a 3,050 mm wheelbase. It's roughly the size of a Land Rover Defender 130 or Mercedes G-Class, but with a more modern, aggressive stance. This is a body-on-frame SUV, real truck construction rather than the unibody crossovers most manufacturers pass off as SUVs now. Inside is where the U8 reveals its dual personality. Military-grade off-road beast meets luxury lounge. The dashboard uses a triple-screen layout with a 23.6-inch digital instrument cluster, 12.8-inch vertical central screen, and 23.6-inch passenger display. That's over 60 inches of screen real estate across the front dash. Rear passengers get 2 additional 12.8-inch screens mounted on the front seat backs. The 70-inch AR head-up display projects navigation and vehicle data across the entire windshield. Seats are wrapped in Nappa leather with heating, ventilation, and multi-mode massage in the front. Second-row captain's chairs in the 5-seat configuration get the full treatment: heating, ventilation, massage, power recline, extending leg rests, and dedicated climate controls. Materials are genuinely premium with soft-touch surfaces, real aluminum trim, and ambient lighting across 127 colors integrated throughout the cabin. Build quality is tight and solid, befitting a vehicle designed to survive extreme conditions. The suspension is BYD's D-Sus P active hydraulic system, offering 150 mm of height adjustment from lowest to highest setting. Ground clearance maxes out at 310 mm in high mode. The system adjusts each corner independently, within milliseconds, adapting to terrain and keeping the body level even during extreme articulation. Approach angle reaches 36.5 degrees, departure angle hits 35.4 degrees, and breakover angle achieves 25.5 degrees. Those numbers exceed a stock Mercedes G-Class and match or beat a Land Rover Defender on 35-inch tires. If the U8 drives into deep water, deeper than the rated 1-meter wading depth, the system detects the buoyancy and switches to flotation mode. The electric motors can propel the vehicle through water like a boat for short distances, allowing you to drive out of floods or cross rivers where no other vehicle could survive. BYD demonstrated this in controlled tests, and while it's not designed for recreational water crossings, it's a genuine last resort capability that could save lives in flood situations. Safety equipment includes 10 airbags throughout the cabin, full suite of driver assistance features using 38 sensors, including 3 LiDARs, 16 cameras, 5 radars, and 12 ultrasonics, feeding dual NVIDIA Orin chips. The ADAS offers highway pilot, traffic jam assist, parking assistance, and 360-degree camera views. The body-on-frame construction provides genuine crash protection that unibody SUVs can't match. BYD's Blade battery uses LFP chemistry with excellent thermal stability and crashworthiness. Pricing in China starts at 1,098,000 yuan for the premium edition, roughly $152,000. That's expensive by Chinese standards, but consider the comparison. A Mercedes-Benz G-Class starts at $142,000 in the US with far less power, no tank turn, no flotation mode, worse approach angles, and a fraction of the interior technology. A Land Rover Defender 130 costs around $95,000, but gets destroyed on capability and technology. A Bentley Bentayga starts at $180,000 with similar luxury but zero off-road ability. The U8 is the only vehicle that combines genuine off-road dominance with flagship luxury at a price that undercuts everything it competes against. The YangWang U8 represents the ultimate Chinese automotive flex. It takes on the Germans at luxury, the British at off-roading, and the Americans at power, then beats them all while costing less. This is the vehicle making European executives stay up at night wondering how to compete when their century-old engineering advantage just evaporated. So there you have it. 5 Chinese SUVs that don't just compete with Western luxury brands. They surpass them on technology, match them on quality, destroy them on value, and offer capabilities the established players can't or won't provide. The Xpeng G9 charges faster than Tesla. The Hongqi EHS9 delivers Bentley presents for BMW money. The Nio ES8 solved range anxiety with battery swapping. The Li Auto L9 created the perfect family vehicle. And the YangWang U8 combines G-Class capability with Bentley luxury and supercar performance. Western brands spent the last decade assuming their heritage and engineering would protect them from Chinese competition. That assumption just became their biggest liability. The future of the automotive industry isn't being written in Munich, Stuttgart, or Detroit anymore. It's being written in Shenzhen, Shanghai, and Hefei, and the future looks nothing like the past.